The Woman of the Year Award, presented by the News and Record, honors a woman who has made a tremendous positive impact on the Greensboro area. In her own unique way, each of our 5 finalists has made profound contributions to our community. Ruth has served as director of the Servant Leadership School of Greensboro since 2002, and she was nominated for the award by Rose Hood. Now, according to Rose, Ruth's work has allowed her to focus on recognizing one's talents and seeing in others their giftedness through an inward journey of personal growth and development, combined with an outward journey of service to others, especially the disenfranchised.
The Servant Leadership School is like an incubator. People come in and want to take some time to really explore what it is that would make their life more meaningful, fuller, again, just more vibrant and alive. And so we just simply, actually we hold space. We hold space for people to do their own good work, to look into their own hearts, and out of that, amazing things happen.
Rose says whether as a college professor, executive, teacher, keynote speaker, author, administrator, or collaborator, Ruth continues to make an enormous impact on the lives of hundreds of women and children working with or benefiting from nonprofit organizations in Greensboro and beyond. Rose describes Ruth as compassionate, disciplined, and humble, and says she demonstrates a life in which she walks the talk.
It's just amazing when you kind of get still and really consider, you know, what is it that might be of meaning and how might I particularly uniquely contribute, and then look at what the needs are and match your giftedness with the needs in the community. Just get out of the way, because it's unstoppable.
Carole is a longtime partner with the Greensboro law firm Smith Moore Leatherwood. Her nominator, Ann Lineweaver, cites Carole's broad scope of community service, ranging from education, recreation, health, economic development, and human service organizations, plus major foundations and the International Civil Rights Center and Museum.
I think anytime you give, you receive way much more than you give. It's great satisfaction to know that you've been a part of a team that's made an important contribution. I was very fortunate to work with hospice and palliative care for a number of years, and the accomplishments there from the Kids Path program, from the Beacon Place program, from the broad-based community program, I hear daily, we just couldn't have made it without hospice. We could not have made it. And to know that you've been a part of that is incredibly meaningful.
Recent years, as economic conditions have become challenging for the community, Carole has focused more on economic development and bringing jobs to Greensboro through her role as chair of the Greensboro Partnership. She also has served on a task force to end chronic homelessness in our community.
The major goal is to bring new and better paying jobs to this community, whether they grow from inside the community or come from outside the community. But to do that, it takes the very broad approach of the partnership.
Ann says Carole is brilliant and is looked to as someone who can be depended on to do an outstanding job at any task she undertakes.
I think women are realizing more and more their ability to make a difference, and to come together as a group of women to make a difference is really a very valuable thing.
Goldie is the Dean of Arts and Sciences at North Carolina A&T State University, currently engaged in leading research on the challenges of Alzheimer's. She was recognized in 2008 for this work with the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Mentoring. Today, Goldie continues to provide opportunities for African Americans to consider careers in science, technology, and math.
There's a special place for those of us who come back in these capacities, we certainly have a vested interest in making sure other students have the opportunities that we had and are able to go on and achieve success and follow their dreams and reach their goals. There's nothing quite like that.
Her nominator, Lisa Keene, says Goldie offers full presence with the individual, nurturing and warmly accepting their work and challenges. She is an advocate for the individual and is a gift to each of us.
From a personal standpoint, knowing that I am assisting society and making sure that the people coming behind me have the tools they need to be successful in life, knowing that they have an advocate. I become not only a mentor, but an advocate for their success. And that's important. It's important for my communities, the communities in which I live and I serve, and for the country.
Jane is a public support coordinator at Hospice and Palliative Care of Greensboro and has made a profound impact on countless people who are either in the process of dying or who are experiencing the loss of a loved one.
While my office is here at Kids Path, I'm really out in the community talking to others about what we do, as well as raising money to support all the programs here at Hospice.
Jane's road from a career in banking to hospice work evolved from her own experience with loss.
My sister, my only sibling, was diagnosed with melanoma, and she lived 4 months after that diagnosis. We all struggled mightily. We didn't have hospice, and I knew that we needed more than we got. And when I was invited to serve on a task force to represent the Junior League, as hospice looked at the needs of grieving children in this community, I began to see what was needed and what would have helped our family tremendously.
Cynthia Adams, who nominated Jane, has volunteered with hospice patients under Jane's guidance. She says there is no greater social challenge than overcoming our reluctance to face private matters of death and dying. Yet Jane has been one of the best known public faces of this movement, making tremendous inroads, moving beyond social barriers. Today, patient families come to see Jane as their personal ally against the worst of all enemies, that of devastating loss.
I enjoy helping people find the support they need, and I learn so much from other people. The stories that we hear in this work every day are so inspirational, and you learn so much about life and how to live life from those people who are kind of walking on the edge.
A longtime resident of Greensboro, Yolanda has served in leading roles for many of Greensboro's best-known organizations and efforts, from Family and Children's Service to the Greensboro Housing Authority. For her community contributions, she has been awarded the state's highest honor, the Order of the Longleaf Pine, and in 1996 received the Points of Light Award from President and Mrs. Clinton for her work with Summit House.
It's very fulfilling, you know, and it wasn't just me. There were just so many women from all walks of life across the community, from women who live in mansions to women who live in public housing who were involved in this. And just meeting in their homes sometimes and being able to bring the actual women in and let them speak to small groups. It was a movement, I think, that people just could not say no to.
Yolanda says her interest in public service stems from lessons she learned as a child. Jean Hudgens Smith, who nominated Yolanda, calls her compassionate, tenacious, and a visionary. She cites Yolanda's work as president of the National Association of Commissions for Women as among Yolanda's greatest achievements.
I would hope that young women who look at my contributions would see that nothing started right where you are, that you have to go back to your roots and you have to come forward. Also, that some of the things that young people enjoy and take for granted now are not things that just happen. Somebody worked to make those things happen.
Jean quoted former Greensboro Mayor Vic Nussbaum as saying of Yolanda, "Down at City Hall, we just get out of the way when she says she's going to do something."
we can't be deterred when we feel that we have something that's important to do, something that's important to say, that our collective voices must be heard.